Good morning. Beginning with what I wrote for yesterday's reading, which was Genesis chapters 12 through 15. I wrote, Abram had enough faith to leave all he knew and follow the commandment of God, but he didn't think God would keep him safe from Pharaoh over Sarai. And spoilers, but he does it again. Abram's decision making was often a bit off where his wife was concerned. God doesn't only work with people who don't make mistakes. And for that, I'm exceedingly grateful. I'll be for God till the end, and I'm fully believing for Abraham level blessings. I know he's still Abram right now, but the extra syllable is coming. So for today, I will be reading Joshua chapter 16 through 20. Chapter 16 reads, And the lot of the children of Joseph fell from Jordan by Jericho unto the water of Jericho on the east, to the wilderness that goeth up from Jericho throughout Mount Bethel, and goeth out from Bethel to Luz, and passeth along unto the borders of Archi to Adaroth, and goeth down westward to the coast of Japhleti, unto the coast of Beth-horon, the nether, and to Gezer, and the goings out thereof are at the sea. So the children of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim took their inheritance. And the border of the children of Ephraim, according to their families, was thus. Even the border of their inheritance on the east side was Adaroth Adar unto Beth Horon, the upper. And the border went out toward the sea to Mikmetha on the north side. And the border went about eastward unto Tanath Shiloh, and passed by it on the east to Genohah. And it went down from Genohah to Adaroth and to Narath, and came to Jericho, and went out at Jordan. The border went out from Tapua westward unto the river Cana, and the goings out thereof were at the sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Ephraim by their families. And the separate cities for the children of Ephraim were among the inheritance of the children of Manasseh. All the cities, all the cities with their villages. And they drave not out the Canaanites that dwelt in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwell among the Ephraimites unto this day, and serve under tribute. Chapter 17. There was also a lot for the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph, to wit, for Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war. Therefore he had Gilead and Bashan. There was also a lot for the rest of the children of Manasseh by their families, for the children of Abiezer, and for the children of Helek, and for the children of Azrael, and for the children of Shechem, and for the children of Hefer, and for the children of Shemitah. These were the male children of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, by their families. But Zelophehad, the son of Hefer, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons but daughters. And these are the names of his daughters: Mala and Noah, Hagla, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they came near before Eleazar the priest, and before Joshua the son of Nun, and before the princes, saying, The Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our brethren. Therefore, according to their commandment of the Lord, to the commandment of the Lord, he gave them an inheritance among the brethren of their father. And there fell 10 portions to Manasseh, beside the land of Gilead and Bashan, which were on the other side of Jordan, because the daughters of Manasseh had an inheritance among his sons, and the rest of Manasseh's sons had the land of Gilead. And the coast of Manasseh was from Asher to Mikmethah, that lieth before Shechem, and the border went along on the right hand unto the inhabitants of En Tappuah. Now Manasseh had the land of Tappuah, but Tappuah on the border of Manasseh belonged to the children of Ephraim. And the coast descended unto the river Cana, southward of the river. These cities of Ephraim are among the cities of Manasseh. The coast of Manasseh also was on the north side of the river, and the outgoings of it were at the sea. Southward it was Ephraim's, and northward it was Manasseh's, and the sea is his border, and they met together in Asher on the north, and in Issachar on the east. And Manasseh had in Issachar and in Asher Bethshean and her towns, and Ibleam and her towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Tanakh and her towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, even 3 countries. Yet the children of Manasseh could not drive out the inhabitants of those cities, but the Canaanites would dwell in that land. Yet it came to pass, when the children of Israel were waxing strong, that they put the Canaanites to tribute, but did not utterly drive them out. And the children of Joseph spake unto Joshua, saying, Why hast thou given me but one lot and one portion to inherit it, seeing I am a great people, for as much as the Lord hath blessed me hitherto? And Joshua answered them, If thou be a great people, then get thee up to the wood country, and cut down for thyself there in the land of the Perizzites and of the giants, if Mount Ephraim be too narrow for thee. And the children of Joseph said, The hill is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites that dwell in the land of the valley have chariots of iron, both they who are of Bethshean and her towns, and they who are of the valley of Jezreel. And Joshua spake unto the house of Joseph, even to Ephraim and to Manasseh, saying, Thou art a great people, and hast great power. Thou shalt not have one lot only. But the mountain shall be thine, for it is a wood, and thou shalt cut it down, and the outgoings of it shall be thine. For thou shalt drive out the Canaanites, though they have iron chariots, and though they be strong. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel assembled together at Shiloh, and set up the tabernacle of the congregation there, and the land was subdued before them. And there remained among the children of Israel 7 tribes, which had not yet received their inheritance. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, How long are ye slack to go to possess the land, which the Lord God of your fathers hath given you? Give out from among you 3 men for each tribe, and I will send them, and they shall rise and go through the land and describe it according to the inheritance of them, and they shall come again to me, and they shall divide it into 7 parts. Judah shall abide in their coast on the south, and the house of Joseph shall abide in their coast on the north. Ye shall therefore describe the land into 7 parts, and bring the description hither to me, that I may cast lots for you here before the Lord our God. Excuse me. But the Levites have no part among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their inheritance. And Gad and Reuben and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond Jordan on the east, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave them. And the men arose and went away, and Joshua charged them that went to describe the land, saying, Go and walk through the land and describe it, and come again to me, that I may here cast lots for you before the Lord in Shiloh. And the men went and passed through the land and described it by cities in 7 parts in a book, and came again to Joshua to the host at Shiloh. And Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord, and there Joshua divided the land unto the children of Israel according to their divisions. And the lot of the tribe of the children of Israel and the lot of the tribe of the children of Benjamin came up according to their families, and the coast of their lot came forth between the children of Judah and the children of Joseph. And their border on the north side was from Jordan, and the border went up and the border went up to the side of Jericho on the north side, and went up through the mountains westward, and the goings out thereof were at the wilderness of Bethaven. And the border went over from thence toward Luz to the city of Luz, which is Bethel, southward, and the border descended to Adaroth Adar, near the hill that lieth on the south side of the nether Bethhoron. And the border was drawn thence, and compassed the corner of the sea southward, from the hill that lieth before Bethhoron southward, and the goings out thereof were at Kirjath Baal, which is Kirjath Jearim, a city of the children of Judah. This was the west quarter, and the south quarter was from the end of Kirjath Jearim, and the border went out on the west, and went out to the well of waters of Nephtoah. And the border went out on the west, and the border came down to the end of the mountain that lieth before the valley of the son of Hinnom, and which is in the valley of the giants on the north, and descended to the valley of Hinnom to the side of Jebusi on the south, and descended to Enrogel, and was drawn from the north, and went forth to Enshemesh, and excuse me, and went forward toward Galiloth, which is over against the going up of Adamim, and descended to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben, and passed along toward the side over against Araba northward, and went down unto Araba. And the border passed along to the side of Beth Hagla northward, and the outgoings of the border were at the north bay of the Salt Sea at the south end of Jordan. This was the south coast, and Jordan was the border of it on the east side. This was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin by the coast thereof round about, according to their families. Now the cities of the tribe of the children of Benjamin, according to their families, were Jericho, and Beth Hagla, in the valley of Kaziz, and Beth Araba, and Zamara, and Bethel, and Avim, and Para, and Oprah, and Ophrah, and Chaphar, Hamanai, and Ophni, and Gaba, 12 cities with their villages, Gibeon, and Ramah, and Beeroth, and Mizpah, and Chephirah, and Mazah, and Rechem, and Erpil, and Tarala, and Zela, Aleph, and Jebusi, which is Jerusalem, Gibeah, and Kirjath, 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families. Excuse me. Chapter 19. And the second lot came forth to Simeon, even for the tribe of the children of Simeon, according to their families. And their inheritance was within the inheritance of the children of Judah. And they had in their inheritance Beersheba or Sheba, and Malada, and Hazar Shual, and Bala, and Azim, and Eltolad, and Bethel, and Hormah, and Ziklag, and Beth Markaboth, and Hazar Susa, and Beth Labouth, and Sharahan, 13 cities and their villages. Ain, Rimmon, and Ether, and Ashan, 4 cities and their villages. And all the villages that were round about these cities to Baal Athbir, Ramoth of the south. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Simeon, according to their families. Out of the portion of the children of Judah was the inheritance of the children of Simeon, for the part of the children of Judah was too much for them. Therefore, the children of Simeon had their inheritance within the inheritance of them. And the third lot came up for the children of Zebulun according to their families, and the border of their inheritance was unto Sarid. And the border went up toward the sea in Marala, and reached to Dabasheth, and reached to the river that is before Jokneam, and turned from Sarid eastward toward the sun rising unto the border of Tabor, and then goeth out to Dabereth, and goeth up to Japhia, and from thence passeth on along on the east to Giddahefer, to Itta Kazan, and goeth out to Ramon Methoar to Nia, and the border compasseth it on the north side to Hanathon, and the outgoings thereof are in the valley of Jiphthael, and Kata, and Nahalal, and Shimron, and Idalah, and Bethlehem, 12 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Zebulun according to their families, these cities with their villages. And the fourth lot came out to Issachar, for the children of Issachar according to their families. And the border was toward Jezreel, and Chesuloth, and Shunem, and Haphram, and Shion, and Anahareth, and Rabbath, and Kishion, and Ebez, and Rimmeth, and En Ganim, and En Hada, and Beth Pezez. And the coast reached to Tabor, and Shahazamah, and Beth Shemesh, and the outgoings of their borders were at Jordan, 16 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of the tribe of the children of Issachar, according to their families, the cities and their villages. And the fifth lot came out for the tribe of the children of Asher according to their families. And their border was Helketh, and Hali, and Betin, and Akshaph, and Alamelech, and Amad, and Mishael, and reached to Carmel westward, and to Shehor Libnath, and turned toward the sun rising to Beth Dagon, and reached to Zebulun, and to the valley of Chiphthah, toward the north side of Bethemech, and Neel, and goeth out to Kabul on the left hand, and Hebron, and Rehob, and Hammon, and Cana, even unto the great Zidon. And then the coast turned to Ramah, and the strong city Tyre, and the coast turned to Hosah, and the outgoings thereof are at the sea from the coast of Akzib. Umah also, and Ephek, and Rehob, 20 and 2 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Asher according to their families, these cities with their villages. The sixth lot came out to the children of Naphtali, even for the children of Naphtali according to their families, and their coast was from Heleph, from Alon to Zonanim, and Adami, Nekab, and Jabneel unto Lakum, and the outgoings thereof were at Jordan. And then the coast turneth westward to Asnath Tabor, and goeth out from thence to Hukok, and reacheth to Zebulun on the south side, and reaches to Asher on the west side, and to Judah upon Jordan toward the sun rising. And the fenced cities are Zidam, Zur, and Hamath, Rakath, and Chinnereth, and Adamah, and Ramah, and Hazor, and Kadesh, and Edrei, and in Hazor, and Iron, and Migdalel, Horam, and Beth Anath, and Bethshemesh, 19 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of the tribe of the children of Naphtali, according to their families, the cities and their villages. And the seventh lot came out for the tribe of the children of Dan, according to their families, and the coast of their inheritance was Zorah, and Eshtal, and Irshemesh, and Shalabin, and Ajalon, and Jethlah, and Elon, and Thimnatha, and Ekron, and Elsikah, and Gibbethon, and Baleth, and Jehud, and Benabarak, and Gath Rimmon, and Madjakon, and Rakan with the border before Jaffa. And the coast of the children of Dan went out too little for them. Therefore the children of Dan went up to fight against Leshem, and took it, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and possessed it, and dwelt therein, and called Leshem Dan after the name of Dan, their father. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Dan, according to their families, these cities with their villages. When they had made an end of dividing the land for inheritance by their coast, the children of Israel gave an inheritance to Joshua the son of Nun among them. According to the word of the Lord, they gave him the city which he asked, even Timnath Serah in Mount Ephraim, and he built the city and dwelt therein. These are the inheritances which Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel divided for an inheritance by lot in Shiloh before the Lord, at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So they made an end of dividing the country. The Lord also spake unto Joshua, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, Appoint out for you cities of refuge, whereof I spake unto you by the hand of Moses, that the slayer that killeth any person unawares and unwittingly may flee thither, and they shall be your refuge for the avenger of blood. And when he that doth flee unto one of those cities shall stand at the entering of the gate of the city, and shall declare his cause in the ears of the elders of that city, they shall take him into the city unto them, and give him a place that he may dwell among them. And if the avenger of blood pursue after him, then they shall not deliver the slayer up into his hand, because he smote his neighbor unwittingly, and hated him not before time. And he shall dwell in that city until he stand before the congregation for judgment, and until the death of the high priest that shall be in those days. Then shall the slayer return and come unto his own city, and unto his own house, unto the city from whence he fled. And they appointed Kadesh in Galilee, and Mount Naphtali, and Shechem in Mount Ephraim, and Kirjath Arba, which is Hebron, in the Mount of Judah. And on the other side of Jordan, by Jericho eastward, they assigned Bezer in the wilderness upon the plain out of the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth and Gilead out of the tribe of Gad, and Golan and Bashan out of the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities appointed for all the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourneth among them, that whosoever killeth any person at unawares might flee thither and not die by the hand of the avenger of blood, until he stood before the congregation. All right, so that was Joshua chapters 16 through 20. It went through the divisions of the land, and I noticed that there were 7 divisions, but there's 12 tribes of Israel. And I know some tribes, like um, like the Levites, they don't inherit, so that accounts for one. But what about the other 4? And I think Judah lost his rights because something's gonna happen later on that we're gonna read about. So that accounts for another one, but then there's still 3. Yeah. So 9 are accounted for, the 7, and then the 2 I just said, but then there are 3 tribes seemingly unaccounted for. So we'll solve that mystery as we continue to read, back and forth the different books. If I remember to think about it while I'm reading it, hopefully I will. So I'm going to write about what I think about what I just read. I encourage you to do the same. I encourage you to do the same. Don't just read it, but meditate on it, write about it, and really take it in, so you can, live your life accordingly. Okay. Have a blessed day.